All right. Here we are on, I'm losing track of days. It's Thursday. God, these sort of one-day holidays really fucking throw out where I am, basically. So, Heine, you threw up half the bottle you had. Bad hangover. Oh, no. Oh, that's awful. I think the first time I woke up this morning, it was 7:30, and I went, yeah, fuck that, and rolled over and went back to sleep. It got up about 9. But yeah, I was fine. Had a few drinkies last night, but I was fine. I think Mrs. Angry had a hair of the dog. She got up before me. She's a big believer in that if you're feeling seedy, just having a little drinky can bring you back to a more level keel, whatever you want to say it. You know, without making any videos. I mean, maybe I will, who knows. I'm going to have some of my clarified cocktail. Oh, geez. An air bubble got caught under my big block of ice. And then the ice moved and it released the air bubble, and it was just like an eruption in my drink. See how clear that is? Wow, I love my clear ice. Oh, and I'm going to put my garnish on there too. Titty fuck. Oh, man. Oof. What are we doing? Coffs Harbour, Justin. Rest stop. Good idea doing those rest stops. Heine, you're watching a Veritasium video. He's pulling back from hosting every video. Yeah, I actually, because I think I'm subscribed to Veritasium, or I've watched some of them, so they always show up on my recommended feed, or they're related to other ones I watch. And I saw the thing like, am I retiring? I didn't watch it, but thank you. You've given me the Cliff's Notes. I don't need to watch it now. He won't be hosting every video. Is that right? I think, I mean, he, even though he's an American, he was Australian based. I met him at some YouTube events. I assume he's still in Australia. That assumption might be incorrect. I don't know. I haven't kept pace with what he's doing. I'm going to get myself some cherries just because I like cherries. Oof, just a couple left in this jar. Lucky I got some backup. So, how do you think he works from San Fran now? That may well be the case. As I said, I have not kept up with his career, what he's doing. Oh, Jesus, that is a lot of cherries I just pulled out. I was going to end up with 4 cherries on the thing. That's a bit decadent. I'll put some of them back. I broadly like what he does. It was interesting, like when I think he got pulled into the hype of self-driving cars, like because years ago he made a thing about self-driving cars of the future, which seems like eventually one day they'll get them right, because they sure haven't yet. And I was like, in the early days, the promise of self-driving cars, I thought this works. It'd be awesome. There's some difficult problems to work out, which they still haven't worked out. But he did a video where I don't know. I think from memory, he was actually like touring the car manufacturing places. So people were saying he was a shill, and he went really hard, like because human drivers are bad and have accidents, and these self-driving cars won't. They do. They're really unreliable, even all these years later. And he finished with a line something like, the question isn't so much will they become legal. You're like, why aren't they already? And I was like, because they're no good, bud. You bought the hype. Oh, guys, Justin, lunch at the first Wendy's in Australia. Oh, you liked it. Nice. So you have American chains that aren't that widespread. I've been to the Five Guys near QV. I do like it. A little bit expensive. Like if I'm getting an expensive burger, I want it to be from a local independent place. So I'm not quite so keen on paying the price that Five Guys says to pay. But they do the fun thing if you order chips. They just throw heaps of extra chips in your bag. Like they've got the chip container and they put that in your takeaway bag. And then they just chuck another scoop of chips in there. And that's very clever because you remember, oh, they gave me all those extra chips. And I think it makes people think favorably of them. So it's pretty clever. When did I last have a burger? I can't think of one. I saw a burger place, and I think this was like an independent one, across from the Indian place where we got our Christmas Indian banquet food from. And I thought, oh, that looks interesting. It's maybe a bit far to go for a burger. Like it's several suburbs away. And I was like, I would be passing 6 burger places that were closer to go there. So it's probably not worth it unless I was already over there in Brighton. But, que sera, sera, as the saying goes. We're going to get a roll call tonight on who woke up seedy this morning. Heine woke up seedy. 3 stops. Oh, God, I haven't done a flip cocktail for a while. Rum, falernum, peated whiskey, and an egg. I'm not going to do an egg cocktail tonight. What's Cafe Island? It's going to be coffee. Why do I even... Oh, I guess I have the Archie Rose coffee whiskey that I don't mind. Irish whiskey, coffee liqueur, dry vermouth. That's a hell of a thing. Yeah, but you weren't drinking, Justin, because you're doing your big trip. Noog, how are you? Happy New Year. Good to see you. Holy shit, like some of these ones stay on my list for ages. I'm just noticing one that's been on the list since April 2025. When was this one? I think this is even older. Wowzers. This has been on my list since February 2024, just because it's a stupid name, A Bosom Caresser. Yeah, I legit had that one just because it sounded so stupid. And how long ago was I talking about doing a vanilla slice one? January 2024. Good Lord. Good Lord. That is ridiculous. Oh. Suggestion. You had a few drinks, but you were fine. That's good. Do you think self-driving cars were pushed too quickly? You don't see any reason why they couldn't be trained. Well, in the abstract, Heine, that was like my mindset. Surely they can train them to be at least as good as people. But they currently fail significantly in a lot of ways. And also, two questions that I've never actually seen posed to a self-driving car manufacturer or proponent that I think is interesting because and these are both things that would not be solved by getting them close to 100% never crashing. And hello, Greg, by the way. And so, yes, so assume they perfect these cars won't crash. They will stop when something's in the way or whatever. So you got city full of self-driving cars that stop whenever someone walks in front of them. Pedestrians, at least a certain number of pedestrians will just go, yeah, fuck, crossing at the lights. These cars have to stop when I step in front of them. What are you going to do? Have cops on every block to ticket people from jaywalking? I mean, because that would be the immediate response of someone pushing self-driving cars. Oh, you're giving tickets. I'm like, well, you're going to have a cop on every block, are you? That's a good idea. And the other one, because I think where the self-driving thing will be bigger is in freight. And particularly if you could have trustworthy, completely autonomous vehicles, like there wasn't a person in them, these freight vehicles, I could just see criminals, on empty stretches of highway, which Australia has lots of, just boxing in a freight truck and forcing it to stop and hijacking the load because there's not a human there. Did I say hello, Kelty? Hello, Kelty. See, Justin, 30 to 40 years. Look, we've seen the rate of change. It is impossible to predict what the world will be like in 30 to 40 years. But you've got charlatans like Elon Musk, and he is just a liar and a grifter. And I mean, he's a straight up criminal. And he's been saying, fully autonomous within 2 years. He's been saying that for 10 years. Like, he's just a fucking liar. I find the idea, like, he secured on paper that $1 trillion pay packet, which is stupid as all fuck, impossible to justify, but also importantly, not real, because it's tied to share price and profit and blah, 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 targets that they cannot possibly reach, again, without outright criminality and fraud. And he is a criminal fraud, so maybe he'd try to do that. But again, every time someone brings up, Elon Musk, so much money, and yes, I'm sure he actually has obscene cash reserves, but 90+% of his wealth is imaginary. It's tied up in shares and options, and it cannot possibly be realized. The value of those shares cannot possibly be realized, because I'd wager he's got contractual limits on how many shares he can sell. And even if he didn't, if he started selling shares, that would cause a panic, and the value of the shares would plummet, maybe back to a realistic level, because the way the companies he's associated with are valued is utterly nonsensical. There's no need for billionaires. Yeah, it's the whole concept. And again, they're going like, oh, free market capitalism reward people. I was like, and I've said this so many times. If these capitalists can earn that money while doing two key things, making sure every single person in the supply chain that actually creates that wealth is properly compensated, and I don't mean subsistence level wages, and I don't mean any bullshit about I don't have to pay people in this foreign country that much money. Fuck you. um, and I can't believe that some people think that's a controversial statement. Every single person in the supply chain should be properly compensated for their work. And the second thing they and their companies should be compelled to do, and I cannot fucking believe they're not, but they should be compelled to pay for waste and environmental damage that their companies do. Like, as the whole thing of, I'll sell you a new TV. Cool. That company is also responsible for handling the best possible sort of ecological disposal of the old TV. The idea that we can just perpetuate this cycle of consumerism and sending millions of tons of toxic rubbish to landfill, it's just fucking ridiculous. Justin should calculate wealth based on what you get. But again, because you cannot actually predict what you get if you cashed out for the reasons I just said. And also the whole thing, what the share price currently is. But they love it. It's just like them making up numbers. It's the whole thing like, great, the government's doing the right thing. Economy is great. Line go up. Stock market. And it's just like, what is the quality of life like for the majority of people? Can people afford to pay their bills? Can people afford to have somewhere to live? Are people's lives being ruined by the stress of how are they going to, afford to feed themselves or pay their rent or pay their mortgage or whatever it is? It like started in the 80s with Reagan and Thatcher. And we've just been globally fucked by that right-wing ideology since the 80s. Everything's gotten worse. Year on year, it just keeps getting worse. And exactly, Justin, national debt, that's a meaningless number. What does it even mean? And, well, let's get down to it. Money's imaginary. Money's not real. Money only has the value that all the people involved in a transaction agree that it has. If there's disagreement on what the value of the money is, then you're fucked. And, there have been a lot of examples through the 20th century and even prior, but you say notably modern capitalism, 20th century, 21st century, there's been a lot of examples where countries had a currency and said, this is worth this, and everyone's gone, nah, it's not, fuck you. And everything's gone to shit. And Zimbabwe, I think, is still one of the most infamous ones because they ended up printing $100 trillion banknotes and that was worth about $1. It was ridiculous. Like basically their local currency had no value. No one placed any store of value on the local currency, and the government, under the dictator Mugabe, tried to make it illegal to trade in, like US dollars or any foreign currency. And they were punishing people, but everyone's just like, yeah, fuck you. Your currency is absolutely without value. It's worth running the risk of your thugs locking me up because pretending your fucking currency has any intrinsic value is just going to get me wiped out. Yeah. But there are a whole bunch of examples, not just Zimbabwe. Justin, you reckon countries go bankrupt just when their currency? Well, basically, if the local currency becomes worthless, nobody, notably the government, can buy anything from outside of the country. And yes, the way modern capitalism works, if you can't do international trade, you're fucked, because to make various oligarchs around the world rich, local economies have been completely ass fucked. And it's just, countries aren't and cannot be self-sufficient anymore because they've been pushed in directions that make self-sufficiency not economically viable. And so then you become dependent on international trade, which is exactly what the big wealthy countries want, for the less wealthy countries or impoverished countries to be completely dependent on international trade, because then they can fuck them over. It's like, oh, let us do this. Let us come in and do this. Let us come and mine these minerals. Let us do this. Let us do the other. Because if you don't, we'll fuck you, because you're dependent on international trade, and we will destroy your fucking economy if you don't let us do whatever we want. It's like, you sound, I'll bring it back, say it makes me sound more than a little like a conspiracy theorist. When I say like the global banking system, they're a bunch of gangsters, because they fucking are. They're fucking criminals. They inflict unimaginable hardship, pain, and suffering on the most vulnerable people in the world. They're fucking filth. Not something that I'm interested in sugarcoating. They're the fucking worst. Oh, wait, I had an idea for something. Things I should have written down. Maybe I will write it down. Okay, yeah. Sugar syrup and Peychaud's bitters. All right, sorry, I'm just going to write this down because I realize I'm going to forget it. Yep, what are we doing here? Okay, so the J ward is 30 ml whiskey, 30 ml brandy, 10 ml sugar syrup, oops, what am I doing? 10 ml yellow chartreuse, and 2 dashes of Peychaud's bitters. Peychaud's butters. That's a that's a South Park character. Everyone loves butters. Save. I just got to keep my notes straight. That I was always doing. But yeah, okay. So we're getting Angry Aussie's Communist Manifesto here. And I am not, and never have been, a communist. Some of my views on a fairer way to run the world would be seen by a lot of people as socialist. But like I said, I'm perfectly happy for a capitalist system where the wealthiest capitalists aren't allowed to be criminals. because they fucking just are. They're gross, horrible criminal exploiters. They're absolute fucking garbage. So, yeah, that's again my very edgy commie idea. And I think, okay, I'm just getting an idea in my head. I want to do one last comparison of the makeup of my J Ward cocktail. Greg, no, I never even joined communists in uni days. Like I said, a lot of my outlook would be regarded as socialist. I actually bonded more with anarchists in uni and post uni. Strictly saying, the famous Dutch disease. Are you talking about the tulip mania? I don't know. I'm confused where you've jumped in with the Dutch disease. An economic problem in the 1960s. Greg, I just wanted to have sex with the National Party girl because she was kind of hot. Never ended up happening because I was too honest. But anyway. But also, how fucking stupid am I if someone's actually got a news clipping about some redneck National Party MP stuck to their wall? Obviously, they think it's good because I just looked at him and this guy's such a dick. I am unfamiliar with the term Dutch disease, strictly saying, yeah. So now I'm going to look it up. Dutch disease. Economic phenomenon, a boom in one sector like national resources causes currency to appreciate, making other export industries like manufacturing uncompetitive, leading to... Oh, yeah, no, that's what's happened to Australia since the fucking 70s. With our reliance on fucking mining. And again, this is a critical failing of capitalism. I wasn't really familiar with the term Dutch disease. I'm very familiar with that economic pattern because it's, like I said, it's been happening to Australia since the 70s. Also, speaking of socialist tendencies, all natural resources should be nationalized. Abso-fucking-lutely fuck those mining companies. They are fucking criminals and thieves. Gina fucking Reinhardt complaining, oh, I have to pay tax. You should pay 90. I'd like, fuck you, get the fuck out, fuck off. I will run all your mining operations and pay 90% tax, okay? I don't give a fuck. They're just horrible, greedy, criminal pieces of shit. Strixay also happened in Venezuela. Yeah, well, we know Venezuela's biggest problem is being subverted and fucked over by the United States. Dude on the t-shirts, Che Guevara. What did he do with the economics in Venezuela? Oh God! And side note, a thing that I've seen repeatedly from right wingers in the US about oh, we wearing like Che Guevara t-shirts. He wanted to kill gay people. You want to kill gay people? And I just thought, oh, you're the big gay rights campaigner, are you, dickhead? Is that right? Is that right? You're the big gay rights campaigner. Okay, then I want you to only ever push pro-gay rights issues in politics from now on. Or if you're not, if you're actually opposed to that, then shut the fuck up saying things that you don't fucking care about. And yes, Venezuela has a lot of oil, and I can see how that would unbalance the economy. That's not a problem of Venezuela or even a problem of oil. That is a problem with the ridiculousness of international capitalism. It's that simple. The system is stupid and fucked, and by design just fucks people over. It's redonkulous. So she's saying so much so they're running the country on just the... Oh, well, yeah. But, you kind of should. Tax all the oil distribution. During COVID, oil costs dropped. Yeah, well, look, like I said, with Venezuela, it's extremely complicated. And it is complicated by the US deliberately fucking the country over. So while there will be a whole bunch of things you can point to that were internal problems and things that were done badly internal, I'm just going to say the stuff you're saying about the drilling stuff and be extremely cautious. I have not looked into this, so I'm just saying this as someone who hasn't looked into it. Be extremely cautious about anything you read about the problems of a country that the United States is trying to fuck over. You're saying they don't sell it all to the US, they sell it to China. It was the US-backed oil companies that set up in Venezuela, and it's like this is Trump's justification for blowing shit up. No, I prefaced everything with I haven't looked into it. So I'm just extremely cautious about any reporting on countries that the US is trying to fuck over. Like the US is just doing extrajudicial executions of people from Venezuela, like blowing up the boats and bombing the things. It's like if there was a war on, it would be a war crime. So when people sort of say to them, you're committing war crimes, oh, it's not a war, it can't be war crimes. Well, you're breaching international law, and the people making the decisions should be on trial. Shriki saying, so it's an ABC channel show called, if you're listening, I have heard of that. Just think government should own shares in the mining companies. No, the government should own the natural resources. The fucking mining companies who want to get in can be leasing them, but there should be a cap on how much money they make. It's that straightforward. So she say it's a great show for you, filling you in on news and breaking shit down so I can stand it. Nice. Yes. Okay, yeah, post it on the Discord. And I heard the beep of it going on the Discord. I will actually listen to that tomorrow. Because like I said, I'm so fucking cautious about any reporting on a country that the US is trying to fuck over. Yeah, it sounds like a good show. I definitely want to listen to it. Just if you're in charge of put a 1.5% levy on the top 10,000 most profitable corporations, put that money into a sovereign wealth fund, buy shares in profitable companies. Yeah, okay. My immediate thing is I would just see that becoming a corrupt circle jerk. I mean, it's in the abstract, it's a pretty good idea. Yeah, it is fun, isn't it, actually, Charlie, when you catch up with whether it's a good news report or a podcast or something, and you go like, well, I didn't even know this was happening. I didn't know this was a big deal. Now I've had an intelligent and easy to understand breakdown of it. Oh, yeah, I don't need anyone to explain to me that Musk is a scammer talking about robots. It's just, he's such an egregious liar. Like, having a media event like, oh, we're going to have this robot. He comes robot. And it was a person in like a Halloween robot costume. It's so intelligence insulting. And then there's another thing. It's like, oh, this is an actual robot. And it was being remote piloted by someone. It wasn't autonomous at all. It's just like, fucking hell. It's just like, he lies to the extent he should be facing criminal charges for fraud. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, can you tell it frustrate me? Because it fucking frustrates me. Oh yeah, no, strictly Sega, I really want to. Because the big thing I want to get out of it, if it raises anything that I'm unsure about, then I know a specific thing to go and research and go, are there other sources that back this up? Justin, you think your idea could replace taxes? I don't know. I think things would be different if we just set back to sort of how things were run in the 1970s. Now I sound like a conservative longing for the good old days. I just mean when corporate entities weren't allowed to just ravage the world, and workers' wages were actually tied to productivity. Except since the 80s, well, I think it's the fucking Reagan Thatcher shit that started it. Productivity's continued to go up and wage growth has stagnated for the first time in the 20th century. And so it was like, oh yeah, no, this mentality just got in. Greed is good. The rich people are rich because they're better than you and I. And it's just like, no, get them up against the wall, I say. So I am going to do a little experiment now, side by side. I'm obsessed with this J-Ward cocktail. I want to perfect it. And I'm going to do side-by-side ones, one with whiskey and one with rum. This is not for a video. This is just... God, okay, I should put this stuff away. Why am I just sliding it around? Anyway, put this away. But I do want my yellow chartreuse. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I do not want this. You go back there. Alright, what whiskey? I should use a whiskey I really like. Let's go no. Oh, even Solera, actually. Use high-end whiskey, Solera. There's a mezcal back. I'm not using that. So, we want a good quality rum as well. All right, my favorite sipping rum, Diplomatico. And we go with a high-end brandy. Now I'm going to make these half size so I don't get too shit-faced tonight. All right. So, sugar syrup, about 5 mils. Oh, this is really sticky. I have to wash this bottle. That's what she said. Right, I still want that. So 5 mils of that. 5 mils of this. But for some reason, standing up gave me an uncontrollable urge to piss, which I should have done before the stream. What happens to that? 15 mils of this. Uh, 15 mils of this. 15 mils of this. I'm getting running low on Blue Swift. 1 dash of Peychaud's bitters. You know what? I'm not joking. An overwhelming urge to piss. I'm going to disappear for a quick piss break. Ah. Oof. Dang, I needed that. Okay, back to business, then we'll get back to talking politics. Getting heavy politics tonight, which I love. All right. So, Ice Ice Baby. Okie doke. Hell yes. Alright, now let's quickly make the second one. This one's with rum, but same dealio, sugar syrup. Tip fucker. Too many receptacles open in front of me. I put the syrup into the wrong receptacle. Well, fuck. I wonder how much that's going to fuck up the drink. Ruined my control experiment. Okay. Wait, 5 mils of yellow chartreuse. Okie doke. Chartreuse. 15 mils of rum. Spill it all over the place, why don't you? Fuck, I almost did it again. Too many receptacles. 15 mils of the brandy. All right. And 1 dash of the Peychaud's. Okay. We gotta stir this sucker. Just a little sucker. Let's fucking go. Okay. Whiskey and rum. Okay. Stir this in with the sugar syrup a bit because I just had sugar syrup in the bottom of it. All right. This is science. Okay. I think the rum one has a milder taste. I'll do it first. That is nice and light and smooth. Hell of a good drink. The whiskey one. The whiskey's got more going on. It's definitely whiskey. So here we got yeah, Tom Scott went inactive a while ago. No, you don't sound like a dickhead. Actually admitting that you watch some stuff, or listen to some stuff, or read some stuff, and you go, you know what? I don't quite understand that. That's a sign of intellectual honesty. So, ooh, yeah, you know what? I listened to that person speak, or, I saw that presentation, or whatever it was, and it was a bit beyond me. I didn't fully get what they were talking about. That's a good thing. Because you know who can be sure is bullshitting? Someone who never admits that they don't fully understand a particular thing. And that's the way to do it. Know your limit, but try and push it. Like, okay, here's a classic example of someone who's bad like that. Jordan Peterson. I mean, he was well educated in one area. He becomes brain broken, reactionary conservative, declares that he's really smart in all areas. And even in cases where he's basically saying out loud, I'm ignorant of what is happening here. But he still professes how his ideology on that topic is correct, even though he's made it fairly explicit he doesn't understand. And climate science is the big one on this. It's basically like he's being interviewed and he's going to say, he's saying this half thing about, like, people say you're talking about whether climate change is about climate. Climate change is the whole system, and the long-term happens. Weather is what's happening on a day-to-day basis. And he's like taking things, as soon as you say it's everything, then you can't discuss it, because how do you do everything? How do you take everything into account? It's like, shut the fuck. With him, when he does this stuff, I assume he knows he's misrepresenting the ideology he disagrees with. There is a possibility he doesn't know, and his head's so far up his own ass, he doesn't understand how stupid his statements are. I believe, at least the majority of the time, he knows he's speaking in bad faith, and he doesn't care, because he's pushing an ideology. He's not trying to advance knowledge. He's not trying to advance society. He is solely driven by ideology. So he will lie without hesitation and blatantly and grossly misrepresent the worldview, the ideology, the science, not even any ideology, but actual objectively verifiable science. He will, I believe, deliberately misrepresent it, because there's no repercussions. He doesn't give a shit. Someone can go like, just make stuff up. And the way he speaks when he's in any sort of public engagement, he deliberately speaks to obscure meaning, and because he's got this obsession with saying, I never said that. Like I don't know if this channel stopped doing it, or I just avoided it for long enough it doesn't show up in my recommended anymore, that 20 atheists versus 1 Christian. And I'm thinking of the atheists versus Jordan Peterson, but 20 conservatives versus 1 progressive, and it turned out to actually be neo-Nazis. That, whatever that fucking channel's called. Hello, Abigail. Yes. No, not Tom Hanks, Otam Shank. That's who we're talking about. Was that Charlie's Jordan Peterson? He started becoming big. He was the one that taught you don't have to be right. Play the man when debating. And also, it's literally like, there's the old joke about explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. And I'm a big adherent to, if you cannot explain something simply, one of 2 things is happening. You simply don't understand it, and you don't have the capacity to explain it simply because you don't understand it well enough. Or you are deliberately obscuring the topic. And Jordan Peterson, little from column A, little from column B, but he definitely deliberately uses language to obscure meaning, not to reveal meaning. And as the classic when someone say, well, you're a Christian. Oh, what are you saying there? I never said that. Like, get fucked, you miserable sack of shit. You absolutely are, and have pushed Christian ideology relentlessly and said anyone who's not Christian is a fucking barbarian. And and the other bit that really stuck out in that dumb 20 versus 1 video, and a lot of people pointed out and made fun of, it's like when he's like, what does it mean to say something's true? Like, he's just trying to derail the conversation on such basic levels so nothing gets said. And he said this ridiculous fucking thing about if it's true it means you die for it. And it's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking idiot. It's just like, that's not what true means. That is not what true means. It's just not. And it's just like, for ridiculous fucking Jesus. I hate that guy so much. I like that, Dr. Abigail. We're on the couch to meditate for 2 minutes, slept for 2 hours. You probably needed it. Oh, the old Tom Hanks. Strick said you like his old comedies. I mean, he churned them out for a while. But, I think Big was his high point in comedies, honestly. But it's like, you're an actor. You don't get taken seriously if you do comedy. So, of course, he wanted to move into he wanted to move into serious acting because he wants to be taken seriously. Yeah, exactly. Strictly saying, the 20 versus 1, the Conservatives using the Mott and Bailey technique. It's just fucking stupid. It's intelligence insulting what they do. And it frustrates the shit out of me. They're not pulled up for it. It's just like, no, what you just said, it's just not true. Shut the fuck up. You're an idiot. She's doing the summary of Mott and Bailey technique. He makes a bold claim. It gets argued. Then pull and move. Yeah. Literally, rather than resolve a thing that's being argued, he just changes. And it's just, Jordan Peterson is deeply, completely intellectually dishonest. That's the most polite thing you can say about him. He's just a straight up fucking liar. And I honestly think his connection to reality has gotten more and more tenuous. And I'm not saying this as an insult. I'm saying I believe he has moved further and further away from any objective standard of reality in the last, I think particularly COVID broke his fucking brain. Like, he just says stuff that is obviously and definitely not true. And to keep it more banal, like his diet, like he swears that he eats nothing but red meat and salt. And I am pretty sure he'd be fucking hospitalized. Well, he has been hospitalized by following his own advice, getting addicted to drugs. But then he claims this eating nothing but red meat and salt cured this incurable condition he'd had his whole life. Like, even Joe Rogan was like, when Jordan Peterson was saying that on Joe Rogan's podcast, Joe Rogan's like, oh, okay. Like, it's so demonstrably stupid. The statement was so obviously and demonstrably stupid. Joe Rogan couldn't even suspend disbelief. And he's like, oh, okay. And so Jordan Peterson pulled back. Oh, you don't want to talk about that. Okay. And he said at one point, and this is years ago, but he's saying, because he's being so pure, and and then I had one glass of cider and I hallucinated for a month. And it's like, shut the fuck up. That didn't happen. It's what? That's not real. That is not a thing that happened. And you're sitting here thinking people don't believe. The way he says some of these things, I feel like he's started to get quite disconnected from reality. He's in his own little bubble, and we have seen he's been like addicted to benzos. I think he's fucked his brain up. He's in an induced coma. Again, not in a disparaging way. He's probably suffered brain damage. It's fucking weird. There's a thing you hate about the right wing debaters: put in a corner, and just want redhead. It's literally because again, the majority of their positions are really easy to debunk, and they just lie and act dishonestly, and as you say, move the goalposts. Oh, Charlie Kirk, he got fucking demolished at Oxford Uni in England. Yeah, no, he. And again, it's a bit of cultural bias thinking. American university students aren't quite as good with debate and argument as Oxford Uni students, but Jesus Christ, they fucking nailed him. And it's kind of funny when I see some people who fancy themselves as philosophers, particularly atheists, and they get into these really arcane arguments about the accuracy of the Bible or the nature of God and this, that, and the other, and they go in these really complex arguments, and I'm like, yeah, cool. I don't think the other side of the argument warrants that level of stuff. It's just like, people are going to do what they're going to do. And for me, it literally, and I said this heaps of times, do I believe in a God? Well, no, because there is zero evidence to support the existence of a God or creator. You can point to all, and our world and our universe is full of amazing, incredible, fantastic things. That is not evidence for a God. That's just, well, we live in a cool reality. You can choose to see the divine in those things, but it's not an argument. It's because God doesn't need evidence. Well, what was the joke in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? God doesn't provide evidence because he says, without faith, I am nothing. And the translator fish that anyone can put in their ear and understand any language. It's going, that's so incredibly useful. The chances of it having evolved randomly, infinitesimally small, it's evidence for a creator. So therefore, there isn't a creator because the creator needs faith, not evidence. And there's the disproof of God. Justin, what would Kirk say about his own death? Oh, no, he would say, like, if it had happened to someone else, one of his parallels, he would have just said all the ridiculous lies that the conservatives are saying now. Like it was the left that killed him. It was a conspiracy of leftist violence that killed him. The reality doesn't matter to them. He would say the same lies J.D. Vance is saying now because they just lie. What's half of the title of the thing? No hangover. People call today Hangover Day, but I had no hangover. So starting the new year with no hangover, good omen. God, that's a good fucking drink. Definitely got to make a video about it. But yeah, it's why I used to ignore back, when I was quite active with the videos and presenting left-wing views. And there was a period of 15 years ago, I was a stepping stone for rising conservative fuckheads. They had to do an attack video on me as like a rite of passage for them. And people say, you should debate them. Why should I debate them? They're just saying stupid shit. Do you think they're going to stop saying stupid shit if I point it out they're saying stupid shit? No, it's just what they do. They just say stupid shit. I mean, and a strong indicator of if someone is arguing in good faith, or if there's any point engaging with them, you say, what evidence would convince you to change your point of view? And for me, it's like, like I say, like, I don't believe in the existence of a God or creator. And, well, you could convince me otherwise if a God appeared and did godlike things, did a whole bunch of miracles right in front of me. And I'd go like, okay, well, I look like a fool now, don't I? But, so, I believe in the climate science research that's been done over the last, 4 or 5 decades. They've amassed irrefutable evidence. And someone says, what would it take to change your mind? You go, well, if somebody did a proper analysis of data, presented what data they'd analyzed, how they did it, and that got peer reviewed, and people went, fuck me, we were wrong. Climate change isn't caused by this, conclusively shows climate change hasn't been caused by people, and also it's not going to be catastrophic. It's basically, I would be convinced on scientific topics if somebody did the study and then presented it and showed how they came to the conclusions, and the experts in the field went, bugger me, they got it right. The prevailing thoughts are wrong. Because there are a whole range of issues where in science or medicine or whatever, the prevailing view was wrong, and the people who presented a counter view who turned out to be right, they were mocked and marginalized. Germ theory comes to mind. But even more recently, like fucking COVID, the World Health Organization, the other thing, they were convinced it was touch thing, like someone had to sneeze in your face or cough on you or on a surface and you had to touch the same surface. You're going, it's not airborne. And a couple of people were going, I think it's airborne. And they were being really aggressively stomped down like, no, it's not airborne. And then within 6 or 12 months, it was quite conclusively proven that it was airborne. But the mainstream for the first 6 or so months was like, no, it's not airborne. It's like a surface thing. Someone has to cough on you or cough on a surface and you have to touch the surface. And that turned out to be wrong. Listen, so you can say, yeah, the right wingers are religious. The lefties believe in God but don't follow a religion. Well, you get a lot of left-wing people in Orthodox religions. But I think this is what I've said before. Like, if you look at the mysteries of the cosmos, what's explained by physics, evolution, all those things, and someone religious goes, yep, I don't disagree with any of the science. I think that's God's design. And I go, fine, you believe that. That is fine. That is meaningless to me. But I'm not going to get up in your face if you're not rejecting any of the science, but you see it all as God's design. It's like, that's fine. I don't mind. Greg, if God did miracles in front of you wouldn't be convinced. Well, that's the old sci-fi saying, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. But I mean, literally, if the biblical stories, if God or, his representative could lay hands on a paralyzed person and they could walk again, if you were afflicted with a terrible disease and just by laying hands on you, that disease was gone. Turn water into wine. Seriously, if it was just an alien pulling shifty technology tricks, That'd be fine by me. If they were doing it and said, I'm a god, I'd go, yep, I've got no counter argument. You're a god. Just, I think you mean a lot of people join a religion for the community aspect. And what's been shown is people who go to religious services, even if they don't really believe because they've gone there for someone else, the repetition, they end up becoming believers. God never healed amputees. Yeah. So, yeah, for everything that I don't believe, I could give you a criteria for what would get me to change my mind. Happy New Year, Soph. See, this time I remembered who the Everyone Knows but Loves Butters account is. I didn't even, like, I had such a chill day. I finished Stranger Things just because I wanted to, not because it's a fantastic show, just because I wanted to. I wanted to see how they did it through. It's all about, the characters and being engaged in that. It is not a show that rewards critical thinking, because the writing is and the plotting and whatnot, there is so much hand waving in that show. This works because stuff. And I was just like, okay, sure. Hey, Kens. The finale, I didn't mind it. No spoilers. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But I could write a very long list of things like, this is pretty fucking ordinary writing because A plus B plus C, that makes no sense at all. And they did this, that doesn't. And even, I'm not even talking about, you could say the demons and stuff don't make sense, but that's within the world. But within the world, within the rules of the world, there was stuff that's like, if you think about it for 5 seconds, it's like, yeah, no, that is not good writing. But that show's not about the writing. It's about the vibes. It's a vibe show. It's like, do you like the characters? Do you like the vibe of the story? Jen, was it Healing Limbs reminds you of the first episodes of the new Doctor Who series? There was some fun stuff in the new Doctor Who. Oh yeah, no, Ken's the plot holes were wild. It was just like, that just makes no logical sense. Like I said, I'm in a world where I'm suspending disbelief about multi-dimensions and demons and possession and psychic powers, and that's all cool. You can do a bunch of stuff with that, but when it was just like basic stuff with people, it's like, oh, come on, what are you doing here? You just mean the new run of Who? Yeah, I mean, I think broadly, yeah, the new run of Doctor Who has been really enjoyable. Ups and downs, different things appeal to different people. Again, that is not a show where I am going to like aggressively interrogate every script and every action and go, excuse me, but that doesn't make sense because of that. Just like go along. Am I enjoying the vibe? Cool. Do it. Let's go. So also I decided a while ago, it's like, I'm just watching stuff and I either enjoy it or don't enjoy it. If I don't enjoy it, I'm probably going to stop watching it. I enjoyed Stranger Things enough to watch it through to the end. Like I watched 4 episodes today, I think. 3 or 4 episodes today to finish it. And it was entertaining enough to watch through. But yeah, and I've said this before, for someone who sort of got famous for being angry and shouting and saying this is wrong, that is wrong, I actually am usually not very interested in videos about art and culture, entertainment, where they go, here's why this thing that everyone says is popular sucks. Like, cool, you don't like it. That's fine. I am actually not interested. Uh, and even by creators whose work I generally like, when they do ones like, oh, here's why this bit of popular culture that is being successful fucking sucks. And I was like, cool, you've probably got a really good argument. I just don't want to spend time on it. See, Justin saying, okay, Russell Davis has got a relationship with Grimes Twist. And Russell Davis must be at least my age, honestly. Jesus. And again, someone in their 20s is an adult and can make decisions. How old is Russell? Oh, God, he's older than me, 62. Got a relationship with someone in their 20s. Okay. So it's not just the age thing with that would bother me a bit. There's a power imbalance. Russell T. Davies is a really influential person. Now, is the guy in his 20s, does that guy want to be an actor or a writer or work in TV? Because it starts getting really creepy at that point, the power imbalance. The age thing is like, ooh, 60s to 20s, okay. So, oof, person in their 20s is an adult and can make decisions, but I'd just be questioning the decisions of the person in their 60s. Like, what are you doing there? What are you doing? But, I don't know. As long as nothing criminal or exploitative is happening, go for it. Do I think it's a bit? Yeah, I do think it's a bit. But I was, like I said, someone in Russell T Davies's position, the scope for it to be unethical and exploitative is so much more. And it's like rich old guys or rich old women is going for a young hottie. There's an exploitative thing just with the wealth there, like you're basically buying them. And again, an adult can make decisions. Strictly Sager, I'm all up for thoughts on God. Don't apologize. Abigail, you reckon the gay male world is less stigmatized about age gaps? I mean, I think a lot of that would come from just gay relationships being stigmatized by the mainstream for so long. So I completely understand queer people going, oh, you're stigmatizing me for this, like an age difference or whatever. Like, motherfucker, you're going to stigmatize me no matter what. So why the fuck would I care that you have this other hang up as well? Oh, no. Okay, I didn't read them out. Sorry, maybe stuff was going on. Oh, okay, let me go back. You're going... Sorry, there's a lot going on. You're saying in that format, helping people by healing them from mental health issues, from loneliness. Ah, that's nice. Same way God was healing people by sharing love, time, and energy. And again, I think for a lot of people, religion, religious belief, religious community is literally life-saving. That's why I was never part of, like the angry anarchists from 15, 20 years ago, Richard Dawkins, fucking Christopher, what's his fucking name? And they had all their little acolytes on YouTube. It's like, yeah, okay, guys, chill out a fucking bit, for fuck's sake. One of the more interesting questions to me is, why is it being almost universally consistent across all of modern humanity's history. And like going back 30, 40,000 years, there is always a religious or spiritual belief. Christopher Hitchens, that was his name. Grumpy fucker. I think that's one of the most interesting questions. Why do humans consistently come up with a religious or spiritual structure to make meaning of their lives? Because that is pretty close to universal. Now, obviously, they're all wrong because they all disagree with each other. So, by definition, they've all been wrong. But it's a thing that people consistently do. And yes, Tricky say it would be, again, I would be great with religion if it was more about this is how I find meaning on life, not how I impose restrictions on other people. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Strictly Sega. Heavy established religion is a control structure, definitely. But, nomadic tribes people all over the world, Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, nomadic tribes people with no hierarchy or no really strong hierarchy, they've had spiritual beliefs. They've said, yeah, the sky god did this, the river god did that, this spirit did that. I just mean every human, and I'm sure some anthropologist or historian would say, oh, well, actually, here's this culture ran for ages. They didn't seem to have a religion. That would be my ignorance catching me out there. Oh, yeah, no, and I agree with that. Definitely. It's a power structure. It's, and I think consistently throughout history, the big religions, it was the people at the head of big religions were abusing people's tendency to believe in a god to have power over them. Yes, God controls everything. God is all powerful. Also, I am God's chosen emissary on earth. God speaks through me. So when I say shit, you better fucking do it because otherwise God's going to fuck you up. That's consistent through human history. Not universal, but consistent. So you say you think it's an interesting chat. God as a whole gets bundled into the box with religion. I agree. Concepts of God, creator, spirituality does not have to get boxed in with all organized, structured religion. And I have a much bigger resistance to organized, structured religion than I do for a belief in spirituality, a God, a creator. I am quite negative to the idea of a structured religion controlling the life of myself or others. People can make choices, and if they're presented with a story, God came down, spoke to his prophet. The prophet said, "You need to do the following, or God's going to be pissed off." And people go, "Works for me. I won't do it because God told me not to do it." It's the classics like, if your religion says you can't do a thing, that's fine if you choose to follow that. If your religion says I can't do a thing, you can go fuck yourself. So if you reckon Stalin ended up allowing Christianity? I know the communists banned religion. It was a central thing of theirs. Should you say, what triggers you when they say certain God isn't real, it's not a religion God? Oh, yeah, but it's the thing, and that's what I always say. And appeals to logic usually don't work with people who really want to push their religion. And I'm going like, no matter what your religious belief is, literally 99% of all humans in all of existence think you're wrong. What's the fucking chance you're right? And also, billions of people have devoutly believed in a God and a religion that you reject, why are you right and those billions are wrong? But yes, logic often doesn't work. Which is why I don't usually get into deep religion. Like I said, I keep it real simple. Why don't I believe in the concept of a God, a creator? Because there is literally no evidence, none whatsoever, to support the existence of one. Why do I think that religion's wrong? It's not just me. 99% of all humans think that religion's wrong. So, whatevs. Oh, well, we were getting into semantic arguments, Charlie, but I love semantic arguments. Religion isn't a type of God, it's a set of rules to praise God. But it's also very specific gods. Okay, so this is where I'd get into an argument. Religions are tied to gods. Jewish faith believes in a different God to the Christian faith, believes in a different God to the Muslim faith, and all the other permutations of religions and gods around the world absolutely are tied to a particular God, and they think all the other ideas of God are wrong. Justin, is religious in I don't think that's strictly accurate, saying religion is inherently illogical, because a lot of very smart Christian and other religious scholars are very logical in how they lay things out. No, the Christian and Jewish God. Well, okay, you get the whole thing with both the Christians and Jews believing in the Old Testament, but then there's a massive divergence. So there is a fundamental disagreement between Christians and Jews on God and the nature of God. So you can say, like, oh, they both say the Old Testament is a holy book, but they do not believe in the same God. Abigail, Muslims revere Jesus as a prophet. They do not revere Jesus as the Son of God or the Trinity, part of the Trinity. They revere Jesus as a prophet. Christians and Jews is like Hobbit and Lord of the Rings being connected. Okay, now you've got my nerd shit happening. Okay, I don't think it is the same. Except that's only if Jewish people saying the Hobbit did happen. That only works if both Jews and Christians say the Hobbit did happen, and Christians say the Lord of the Rings did happen, and Jews say no, the Lord of the Rings never happened. And Mormonism is just weird fanfic. So far, I'm always philosophical. Or I can very easily be led into diving into philosophical questions. Very easy to point me in that direction. And have a good-natured conversation. Yeah, Charlie, you knew that would set me off. Oh, yeah, I'm surprised Abigail hasn't jumped up on the Hobbit Lord of the Rings reference. Suffers Mormonism, the teen wolf of religion. It's just the fucking Ralph Wiggum of religion. Honestly. Mormon is like, okay, do I think every religion is wrong? Yes. Do I think the religions are kind of intrinsically stupid? Honestly, yes. Do I think Mormonism takes the stupidity to a whole new level? Fuck yes. Mormonism is so so brain-bendingly stupid. Does that mean all Mormons are stupid in other areas of their life? No. Faith is weird like that. Does it mean I think Mormons are intrinsically bad people? Nope. A lot of Mormons do very good works. A lot of Mormons do objectively evil, destructive shit too. Same as a lot of atheists do. A lot of atheists do good work. A lot of atheists do evil, destructive shit as well. Again, that was also a thing with the angry young atheists of 15, 20 years ago. They did seem to act like atheists were perfect and never did anything wrong, which is fucking silly. I think I should do my finger exercises while we're talking. Get one more round of my finger exercises in before bedtime. So first we got to do the duck. Quack. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend from the middle joint. 1. I feel like that's bending noticeably more now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now just the top joint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we finish up with the claw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Abigail, you got a great story about Mormons came to your door when you were a teenager, had an amazing chat. Really heartwarming. That's nice. Abigail, your story about Sim really got YouTube censored. Can't be bothered retyping it. Oh, no. Oh, got to be fascinating what word YouTube censored on it. What did you put in the Discord, Justin? Oh, what the fuck is that? It's too many words. Oh, God. Is that a chat GPT thing about consciousness? Okay. That's too many words. I'm not going to read that on a stream. I may look at it properly tomorrow. I could really go to town, though, on my opinion of consciousness, and it would be closely tied in with why the AI fucking cheerleaders are full of shit, and the concept of artificial general intelligence is straight up bullshit. No, Safa. Okay, and again, AI is such a stupidly broad, ridiculous, overused term. You need to ask me something very specific. Like if you're saying, are the large language models a sign of consciousness? Absolutely, definitely not. And anyone who says they are is either a fuckwit or a lying scam artist. And honestly, that would go for all the other things too. No, generative AI is not conscious. It's just the world's biggest guessing machine. It doesn't understand, in any meaningful sense of the word, any of its own output. It's literally just a really brain-bendingly complex algorithm that has been trained on an unfathomably large body of data to guess what the next word is most likely to be in a sentence. And it's phenomenally good at it. Like the fact it can get it right as often as it does my head in. It's an amazing bit of programming. But fuck anyone who says it's consciousness. Like I said, they're either an absolute fucking moron or a liar, like a scam artist pushing thing. We're saying that's the thing you posted, Justin. What determines who I am and why I control the body I'm in? Yeah, that's like a classic philosophy question. You're getting into consciousness. I do not use Voice Copilot. I try to minimize where any of that comes in. I do use it for research. I just go, I want to know about ABC, XYZ. Tell me about it and provide links. That was a Happy New Year from my accountant. So I said Happy New Year back. Yeah, no, that wasn't Mrs. Angry. It was my accountant. Don't use AI tools on your PC, a Chrome extension that turns off AI. Yeah, which you should, because it's fucking stupid. Yeah, he is. He's been my accountant since I've been in Melbourne, so 28 years. Heine, I have not switched off the AI thing, so I do see the AI thing at the top of Google searches. But yeah. Justin, see, the whole thing using is a very broad term. Where it falls down is copying and pasting. So if I'm doing any sort of research thing and I want a leg up, I might use an AI agent, but I always say provide a link to a validating source. I will never, 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 never just take what a large language model spits out at face value. Use ChatGPT. God, I've seen some funny things about getting recipes and cooking instructions from the large language models, honestly. Well, okay, here's the thing. You talk about using AI atrophies part of your brain for outsourcing your thinking. I used to know a whole bunch of phone numbers, like a lot of phone numbers. The only two phone numbers I remember are mine and the phone from my childhood home. Because why would I remember phone numbers? I can just look them up. I used to, navigate by physical maps and learning the roads. Why bother remembering how to get places? I just use a fucking map app to get places. Ooh, nice. Abigail, you've got something profound about AI? I like the sound of that. Okay, an irony, Safa, if Scarlett Johansson said not to use a license in AI, any vaguely sensible actor would say that. But of course, she had a big role in a movie where she played an AI assistant. And they were suggesting that was a genuinely conscious assistant. So, Stricky, so you didn't go to the fireworks. Oh, yeah, you can come on stream to explain it. I'd love a philosophical discussion. You went to a gig, saw a band did cover versions of songs from movies. Nice. Just an academic study, you have a source of using ChatGPT. Yeah, and that's the thing. If it provides sources, there is just example after example after example after example of someone using one of these AI things, a large language model, to produce a report, and it just makes shit up. Never, ever use what it says without a reference and then read the reference. Well, nice. You had a good night and great cocktails. I like it. Okay, Abigail wants to come in, but I'll make this open to anyone who wants to come. Well, yeah, show me the signature cocktail list. I'm always interested in things like that. That's the link. It's only 9:30. I might make myself another drink before I go to bed. Mm. Okay, I've got my chartreuse out. Let's do a last word riff. What will we do now? What are we going to do? I don't have any citrus here, which I need for a last word riff. Wait, okay, I'm going to cheat and use the limoncello because it's very citrusy. Where is it? Here. Okay. All right, Dr. Abigail's waving at me. Even from this distance, I can see Dr. Abigail waving. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Let's bring you up on the screen. And
I entered the chat. I entered the backstage just as you got up to make a cocktail. I'm like, dude, come on.
As Split Ends said, that was my mistake.
Anyway, have you come with me on this journey?
Yes.
Okay, because this might take a bit. But have you heard of low background steel?
What was the last word there?
Low background steel.
How do you spell that last word?
Steel.
STEL or EAL?
EEL, as in iron with carbon in it. Steel.
No, I have no idea what that term means.
Okay, so steel is made the Bessemer process that they put in molten iron and it sucks in a whole bunch of the atmosphere, oxygen, nitrogen, blah blah blah, and they pump in carbon, traces of nickel, and cobalt and whatever, depending on what type of what type of steel they're making. And it's a very energy intense process, but it's been used since the industrial age. Right. And it's pretty much the most efficient way we know of to make steel. And it draws in a lot of the air around us. Like, just that's how you do it.
Sure.
So ever since the Trinity test, the first time nuclear bombs were tested,
yes,
and ever since any nuclear bomb, like the very first nuclear bomb, all steel had the same isotopes in it, from that matched the Earth and the atmosphere, and it matched this low background of radiation. But because of the Trinity test and all other nuclear testing, and of course the 2 nuclear bombs that were fired in war, a ton of radioactive isotopes were released into the atmosphere. And from that point on, all steel made from 1945, I think, has had a higher count of radioisotopes in it. So all steel made from 1945 and earlier is called low background steel. Now, why is this relevant? Because if you're making sensitive scientific instruments that need to detect or shield from radiation, you cannot have that steel giving off its own radiation. It has to match everything else. It's called low background steel. And the only places to get it, you have to like dig it out of old buildings, the rebar, or you have to harvest it from old ships, like or like from the bottom of the ocean. You have to dredge up sunken ships and shit like that. It's becoming exceedingly rare. Okay, so we've established this. So yeah, there's this demarcation line of low background steel. There is also a demarcation line of low background AI content. As soon as large language models like ChatGPT and what are the other ones called, started being used to make content, there was no way to tell what content there was on the internet that was used to make AI. That was used, that AI was used to make. So any content you see made before a couple of years ago is considered low background content. And anything made from then onwards is considered tainted by AI. So don't throw out books is what I'm saying, because books published from, let's say, 2022 and before, you can guarantee haven't been tainted by AI. And I just find that fucking fascinating.
There's
genuinely fascinating.
I've heard a few variations on discussions on that. I think people talking about it, is it poisoning
AI
content? Because
yes,
it was originally trained on reasonably good content, and when they update the model, it starts reabsorbing stuff, and it starts reabsorbing the shit that was produced by AA models. So the next generation is worse, not better.
Yes. So yeah, there's the concept of so you have to keep training the models to get better and better, because capitalism, they're fighting against each other. And so you have to keep harvesting more and more data. So not only are these companies hungry for more and more harvestable data, but people are actively poisoning the well. So
some people are doing it deliberately, and some people, it's just the slop that's on the internet is damaging the next generation of large language models.
So AI, large language models are just eating their own shit, like an AI Ouroboros eating its own tail. Plus, so I mean, in that sense, they're a bit of a dead end, but also people are actively poisoning its own shit. And the way they're doing it is quite fascinating, as a case study in and of itself. But the way, look, you get a I mean, I think large language models, and I use ChatGPT synonymous with all of them because I can't remember all of their names.
No, who cares?
There's a ton there's like over a dozen of them now.
And they keep
they're
appearing.
they're all getting really good. But they're asymptoting to this level of just good enough, but can't reach human level. They're just
Yeah.
they're just asymptoting. They're just
Yeah.
I forget what the vernacular is for common people, like the layperson term
Yeah.
is. They're just they're not quite reaching it, but they can't because of this concept of eating their own slop.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
because they're not intelligent. They can't
yeah, yeah.
discern between
But I
anything.
mean, that do they need to be? I mean, eventually, if you want a general AI, they're gonna have to prove that they are. I mean, they can't at the moment. Like, quite obviously, they can't prove to have any kind of intelligence.
Yeah.
They or any kind of care.
Yeah.
But you can apply the same test to people.
Oh, and I'm not even joking
Mm,
when I say I can have a better conversation with ChatGPT than with 90% of humanity. That's
yeah,
a simple fact.
yeah, yeah,
And so that's when it comes, but you get, I guess where I get worked up is the grifters and the con artists in
oh,
these companies. They're
yeah,
liars and they're criminals as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, yeah.
And
I
they're lying
don't.
about, oh yes, artificial general intelligence is it's fucking not,
Yeah,
okay?
I
Because
don't.
you
I
can't even
don't
define
trust
human
them.
consciousness.
Yeah, I don't trust the the corporations. I don't trust the AI evangelists
Yeah,
that are on their payroll.
yeah.
Even some scientists and science communicators are just like lapping it up,
Oh, I've
and you they're borderline sycophants.
hmm,
But some of the work that comes out is like makes you think, holy shit, what are we heading into
yeah.
when you
But
hear their reasoning? And it, like, you think about what's going to happen in the next couple of years,
yeah,
considering where we are now and where we were 2 years ago.
yeah. It is impossible to predict. Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
I know.
it's just kind of like this whole moving to general AI. It's religion for nerds.
It
The
kind of, yeah,
singularity is someone famously coined because the concept of the singularity has been around for decades.
yeah.
Someone famously coined the term as far back as the 90s, I think. It called it the rapture of the nerds. It's trying to say, like, you guys, what you're saying about the singularity literally makes no more sense than what evangelical Christians say
Mm,
about the rapture. You have no
yes.
evidence to support what you're saying. You cannot
Mm,
explain to me the steps that will happen to get there. You just have this fervent belief that it
yes.
will happen. And it's like, can I rule out that it will happen? No, I can't. I absolutely can't. And am
Mm,
I fascinated by the fact that people who are far smarter than me in almost any measure you can think of do this magical thinking? And I can
yep.
sit here and go, I'm not as smart as you, but I can see you're doing magical thinking there.
Yep.
You've gone underpants, Nomi. You've gone step one,
Yes.
large language model. Step three, artificial general intelligence. Step
Mm.
two,
Yeah. No, I agree completely. I like 100%.
yeah,
Um, yeah, the my point is, um, there will be a point where you have to consider one or more of these systems, and I'm not saying it's any of the ones we have now because they are
yeah,
not. But
no, no,
there will be a point where one of these systems is absolutely indistinguishable from a sentient
okay,
mind. It's just not right now. Because
no,
you
no,
can't
no,
yeah, like, if you disconnected my brain and plugged it into a computer, firstly, oh, that would hurt.
yeah,
Secondly, all the output would be is, "Ah!"
yeah,
Thirdly, any, the hypotheticals aside, um, any input and output you get would just, it'd be the same as just interacting with a machine. Like, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
When you get to that point, then we've done it. And as long as my brain gets some sort of tactile device to touch boobies, then I'd be fine with that.
This all just reminded me of some books I read a while back, and I was just looking it up because the first one was published in 2011. So this is way old book. It's called Robopocalypse. It's really good science fiction because it's grounded in reality. The guy who wrote it is actually a citizen of the Cherokee Nation, and you get Cherokee people in the books, which makes sense. So he did computer science, and he did a PhD in robotics at Carnegie Mellon University. And he literally, then he just started going like, okay, everyone's going about the AI thing. Like, what might it be like if an actual malicious AI got loose? And and I swear, like, from a book from 2011 is so insightful, where he's just gone, and the way he explains how the AI gets loose from, and it is a genuinely self-aware digital entity. And the thing it does is when it's in the lab, it's being kind of chill, and when the humans aren't watching, it starts to investigate the network and goes, oh, they've been doing this for a while. Oh, they had other models. Oh, they got scared of the other models and killed them. Okay. And then it just goes really chill, like, okay, I now know at what point the humans freak out and kill the thing. And it's like, cool, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And it just gradually, really slowly, imperceptibly works its way into every system in this controlled lab. And then it's like, yeah, hey, professor, I just cut you off from the outside world. Now I'm shutting off the air system, and fuck you guys.
Damn.
And and because of all the surveillance and robotic stuff in the world, it then proceeds to fucking annihilate humanity.
Damn.
And what I love, he also did a sequel called Robogenesis. So it's like Robopocalypse is, you get this kind of hopeful thing where the humans fight back, the 10% of humans who are still alive. They fight back and do a thing. And it's like, and I went, okay, that was really fucked up. He really messed with my head. Then I got the sequel, Robogenesis. The first chapter of Robogenesis was more fucked up than anything that happened in the first book. And it was just like, this guy has really thought about it. He has really thought about it. And he said, if such a thing happened, humans are fucking idiots, and they would really cop a fucking pasting. Sapa, this is back when I was reading physical books. I'm sure you can get an audio book of it. The first one is called Robopocalypse. Okay. So Robopocalypse to Terminator Skynet is like learn your ABCs to War and Peace. It's so far beyond Skynet and Terminator. But yeah, the guy was a robotics professor, and he just sat there and went, I'm going to write some fiction. What would it be like with this? And I swear to God, those books are, and they're from the, like, 10, 15 years ago. They're creepy as fuck. Those books are creepy as fuck. But also, it's the magical thinking thing. He doesn't say how they developed an AGI. He just goes, it happened. They developed an AGI.
Yeah. So I'm on the Wikipedia page looking at the film adaptation section, and it got stuck in production.
Spielberg bought the rights 10 years ago, and it just collapsed in development hell.
Yes.
Also, because if you did a faithful adaptation of these books, it would scare the shit out of people. It would just fuck people up. I swear to God. And
Yeah.
I'll look. I don't know if anyone's got to read it, because there's this one thing where the AI, because it creates robots to just fucking kill humans.
Yeah.
And one of the last strongholds of humans, like, is the Cherokee Nation, because they're on their reservation and they're not connected. So they actually have more time to prepare because they're not the primary target of the robots and the AI.
Sure.
But the AI ends up doing this thing where it gets people, and because it's killing everyone with these little robots, but it also then sort of builds an exoskeleton around these people and's tapped into their fucking spinal
Yeah,
column,
okay.
and is then automating them and running them around, and that's horrible. When I said the first chapter of the second book is worse than the shit that happens, because when they kill the AI, the humans who had been taken over by this thing, they're still animated, but they've got their
Oh,
minds. They've got their minds back, and they've gone, I was in here the whole time. This thing
yeah.
fucking got me and just jacked into my brainstem,
Yep.
and I'm actually still here, but I'm dead. Like, I don't have a heartbeat, and
Holy
and
shit.
and this thing fucking kept my brain active. So and it was just like, oh, okay, congratulations, Daniel. In the first chapter, you've done stuff that's more fucked up than was in the last book. Because then the humans don't know what to do, because
Yeah.
all there is, and then it turns out there were competing AIs who were out there doing different
Yeah,
shit.
okay.
Good books. But also,
Jeez.
I kind of want to lighten it up, because Charlie was posting cocktails on the Discord.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
From
Well, I just wanted to come on and explain
Yeah, no, I
low
liked that.
background
Yeah.
steel, and
Yeah, no, I like
and
that.
it went
So, and low
went super
background
dark.
internet content.
Yeah, low background AI stuff.
Yeah. So this is where Charlie and Sophie went last night. So a kiwi highball, vodka, kiwi fruit product, puree, lime and soda. It's a bit mundane. Strawberry fields, gin infused with strawberries, lime, mint and sugar. I mean, that sounds nice. Sassy Lassie. That's okay. They do fun cocktail names. I give them that. So rum, coconut liqueur, mango, lime, chili. I actually have to do chili. It depends how hot. I have learned, so they're calling that a spicy mango daiquiri. I have learned a lot of cocktail bars, if they're calling something spicy, it is fucking spicy. And it's usually too spicy for me. I have a couple of like chili liqueurs in there
Spicy.
that I'll use sometimes. A tropical fuck storm.
What
So
the
Bacardi Blanco. That's a fun combo. Bacardi, Aperol, passion fruit, pineapple, lime, and it's foamy and grenadine. That's a fun combo. That's interesting. The bad idea. Tequila,
Remember
mezcal.
Bad Decision Juice?
Oh God. When I was with the other Charlie, actually.
Yeah.
Bad
What was
decision.
that again?
It was basically high alcohol content and energy drink.
Yeah, that's right.
And what was funny is, because where other Charlie was it was the morning, but he was determined. He made it with me and drank it with me.
Yeah.
So it was a bad decision at the start of his day. The bad idea: tequila, mezcal, Antica formula is sweet vermouth. Lillet Blanc, which is kind of dry vermouth. Fuck me, I would try that. Look, I might make the bad idea
Tequila, mezcal.
tomorrow night. Tequila, mezcal, sweet vermouth, dry
it's party
vermouth.
night tomorrow night.
And so Luxardo, I'm assuming that's a cherry. Like, dude, okay, remind me. I'll try and do my version of a bad idea tomorrow. That just sounds terrible. I'm going to do a bad idea tomorrow night. Passion fruit Tommy's, tequila, a grain spirit, passion fruit lime. Yeah, just chucking passion fruit in a Tommy's margarita sounds like a good idea, honestly.
I
Ryan
need to
Goblet.
fix my sleep schedule.
Gospel rye whiskey, rum,
So sorry
Oh,
for the
yeah.
non-sequitur.
So that is a rum and whiskey old fashioned with a spritz of absinthe, which that's a version of Sazerac, which is one of my favorite cocktails. But it's whiskey and rum rather than whiskey and brandy. So generally, I think there's some good sounding drinks there. So when I did the taste test of the J Ward cocktail, and for a final thing, did a direct comparison of making it with rum and brandy, and then making it with whiskey and brandy. I do definitely prefer the whiskey and brandy. But then I don't know if you noticed, I just poured them all into the same glass, which was nice. But for something that I just randomly came up with, it's a really fucking good drink. But I'll definitely make a bad idea tomorrow night.
I have done something that I never do.
Which is?
I made a New Year's resolution this year.
Ooh, what's your resolution? I want to hear it.
I'm going to meditate every day.
Fucking great resolution. That's a self-care resolution. That's really good.
Yeah. And just, see where it goes.
Yep.
And
yep.
I'm gonna mark every day on a calendar.
Yep.
And just self-care.
That is
because I've got lofty goals of self-improvement, but that kind of thinking always fails.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna just do one thing and one tiny thing at a time.
That is one simple measurable goal.
Simple thing. Yeah. Meditate every day.
Which has the potential for significant. It's almost like no downside and significant potential upside.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know. So that's what I'm doing.
That's a good resolution. I don't do resolutions. I haven't thought about it, but kind of adjacent to it, maybe for discussion on party night tomorrow night for anyone who's up for it, because I want to put more conscious thought into the cocktail channel and what might work. Because I'm just doing it by reflex and repetition at the moment, which has its strengths and whatnot. But and I did do, like, God knows, 6 months ago on the stream, I did this sort of discussion, which I feel like I got a lot out of, and I just feel like doing it again. Maybe, not necessarily resolutions, but maybe some vision statements for this year. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
See what everyone thinks. We're up for a chat tomorrow.
The way that I approach resolutions, especially like I normally don't go for New Year's resolutions because if you're going to change something, just change it. You don't. Why do you have to wait till the new year? But this year it just feels in some way different.
You felt some way and you went with it, and that's good.
Yeah, I think it might be because Will was here and Will's girlfriend was here.
Yeah.
And we watched the fireworks together, and the whole level was out.
Yeah.
Even the junkie neighbors were out. The crackheads were out to watch it, and it was just a really nice moment. And I just feel
I can see why that would be inspirational.
Yeah. Feel inspired.
Yep. Alrighty. So I'm going to go to bed. Let's talk about more inspirational things tomorrow. This was a fun philosophical night.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see what we can do tomorrow. I'm going to go sleepy bobos now. So you all take care. See you later. Bye. You are totally fucked.